So today we're talking about expert proof in wrongful death cases. And before we can get into that, you kind of have to know what a wrongful death case is and what the elements are. So it's a lot like any other personal injury case where you have the first element is the existence of a legal duty, and then you have to show a breach of that legal duty. The defendant did something wrong. Then you have to show that that particular breach, the thing that they did that was wrong, caused an injury that would not have otherwise occurred. So, kind of picking up each piece of that, you might need an expert at every step of the way, depending on the kind of case. Now, sometimes the existence of the legal duty is obvious, like everyone has a duty all the time not to run a red light. You don't need to hire an expert to say that, right? But in other cases, you would need an expert to establish what that baseline legal duty is. For example, a medical malpractice case, you'd need a doctor or nurse to say this is what you're supposed to do under these circumstances as a healthcare provider. A negligent security case, you'd need some kind of security expert to say this is the kind of security protocols that should have been in place in this case. So you may or may not need an expert on that first element, existence of a legal duty, which kind of goes hand in hand with the breach of the legal duty, right? Second element, breach of the standard of care. Oftentimes by defining the legal duty, you're also kind of defining what went wrong in the particular case, right? If you're saying the standard of care required an ultrasound, as an example, then the fact that they didn't do the ultrasound would kind of prove the breach of that duty. So moving on to causation, in most cases, this is going to be an issue where you're going to have an expert to connect the breach of the standard of care to the injury, to the ultimate death. There are some cases where it's just obvious, maybe a car wreck case, for example, but other cases you might have a more extended timeline, you might have a complicated course of medical care, you might have something like that. So you're going to need expert proof to kind of connect the dots between the ultimate outcome and the breach of the standard of care. So damages is a huge area in wrongful death law and one where you will often need expert proof. So in most personal injury cases, you're going to need expert proof anyway to connect medical bills and medical treatment to the injury. There's requirements that you have expert proof to prove the reasonableness and the necessity of medical bills. But in wrongful death cases, you're also going to be making a claim most of the time for the lost earning potential, lost wages, the value of this person's life if they had been in the workforce, for example, for the next 20, 30, whatever years. So it's not uncommon, it's very common, in fact, to have economist experts, vocational type experts who can opine on the earning capacity, the education and family background of the loved one who died and come up with some dollar figure for this is the amount of money that they would have earned over the course of their life. Now, that is not really related to the pain and suffering amount, right? You wouldn't really need an expert on pain and suffering. You need an expert more so for the forensic accounting type thing, proving, hard dollars and cents. So that's kind of an overview of when you might need an expert in a wrongful death case. Thanks so much for watching. Let us know if we can help.